it wasn't very long ago, a couple of minutes ago, where I decided to stop cooking these onions while I put all the rest of the ingredients out. But it really wasn't that long ago, so you know, you can keep going. You could choose to put your pan off whilst you get ready. We're going to put the next layer of flavour into this Smoky Blues chilli. First thing we're going to do is to put a teaspoon of sugar in. Just scatter that about, get that moving. We're putting a teaspoon of Smokey liquid smoke in. I'll just leave that there for the camera to see properly. We're putting half a tablespoon of Marmite in. To be honest, I prefer using the Aldi Marmite because it's a little bit thinner. It's a bit looser to work with. Now, you know, you might be saying, well, I don't really like Marmite, Julia. Well, that's okay. You won't taste it. You know, it's there to add an umami flavour. And umami is detected on your tongue, in the middle of your tongue. It's that indescribable flavour. MSG is a bit of an umami flavour. Putting a tablespoon of tomato puree in. Just for the future, if you use tomato puree, put it in at this stage for anything. Don't just put it into a sauce. It needs cooking in and intensifying, really. And then, of course, as you'll be learning now with all of my recipes, we have to put some acid into every dish because the tongue has a sensor for acid, and without it, it's not as good. So that vinegar just hit my nose. The sharpness gets cooked out. So just as we were getting ready, Chris, the cameraman, did say, gosh, that's an amazing colour, and I thought it was worth repeating because it is, isn't it? You know, it's a lovely colour, it's a beautiful colour. So yes, we all eat with our eyes, and also it looks very rich as a colour. And I think if something looks rich, it helps it to taste rich. Because again, we eat with our eyes. If this was just a very pale, you know, brown or something, it wouldn't look very appetizing. It's shiny. I know it's very rich on the palate. So this is now just cooked that tomato puree in. In go the tomatoes. Stirring everything round. And the richness of the onion mix really does colour and characterise the flavour of this dish. And the tomatoes ever so slightly water down that richness. But when you've got red kidney beans in here and chickpeas, it is all looking quite rich. Now we need to let that cook down. And in the meantime, I'm going to go off and cook a bit of rice and get some other things organised. So you're looking at 10 minutes on a low heat. You know, if you were to have a high heat, it's going to bubble. You're going to lose the liquid. It could burn. So keep it on a low heat. Just going to turn mine up a little bit now those tomatoes are in. You can see these bubbles starting to come. So just watch what you're doing. But this is good. We're just going to keep this cooking for a little while. It needs to cook on its own. You know, the thing with chilli is that you need the sauce to be ready before then you start adding other things like chickpeas. Those just get added really at the end and warmed through. This is very rich. Once we've got those kidney beans and things in, we are going to just go through the process of tasting and adjusting this flavour, so that you get into the habit of tasting and adjusting flavour as we go through the course. The recipes stand up and don't really need to be tasted, but I think as we go through now, we need to just be tasting our food and adjusting things according to your palate. And don't forget, your palate's best clean, you know. I've got toothpaste flavour in my mouth right now, so it won't actually be too great to be tasting that before I've just had a bit of water, a cup of tea or something like that. So that's ready now. If I left it that hot, it would ruin, I think, over 10 minutes. So I'm just going to turn that down a little bit. That's bubbling too vigorously for 10 minutes. So turn that down and off we go, and we'll come back and finish the dish.